Hi there, my name's Vince from mymatevince.com, and in this video today it's going to be another trying to fix video, and in this one I'm going to be trying to fix an automatic watch, and I am doing a ladies one. Now I say this in all my videos, but please really take notice in this one. I do not know what I am doing. This would be the same as you taking it apart at home if you have very little experience. So if you're just used to changing a few batteries, changing a few straps, maybe put new hands on your watch, that kind of thing. I'm okay with that. If I had to change the movement out, I'd probably be okay with that. I am not used to servicing anything, and when I take things like this apart, they very rarely get put back together again. So now, I have got a few watches coming up on this channel, but the other ones that I've got on order are Seiko men's automatic, and the reason I've chosen those ones is because I've been in touch with somebody. I won't say who yet in this video because I'll wait until I do that video and then it will be more relevant. But basically, he's really helpful. He's got a fantastic channel, and the movements that he's recommended me to get, he's done step-by-step videos on how to take them apart and service them. So I will be doing that hopefully within the next month, and then I'll show you the channel and stuff like that then. With this one, it's going to be just one that I'm doing blind. I haven't watched any videos on it. I don't even know what movements inside this, but it is an automatic watch. Why am I doing it? I just like doing it. It's very cheap. I got this one for £6.50 plus £2.95 postage. So you're looking at something which is under £9.50. So even if I completely break it, it gives me entertainment, and £9.50 is well spent, even if I break it, just for me to get used to working on really fine things. Now obviously, a ladies' watch is much harder than a men's watch for an amateur like myself because it is so small. So I'm not a hobbyist. I do like my watches, but don't watch this and then criticise me for doing everything wrong, because it will be all wrong. Now, this is not working. I don't intend to service it as such. I'm just going to hopefully see what's wrong with it and try to get it ticking. So even if it's losing 1 hour a day, I will still call that a success, because right now it's not working at all, and I just want to see what's wrong with it. So this is the eBay listing. You can see there the price was up for £8.89 and £2.95 postage, but they were taking offers, and basically I offered £6.50. Let me just show you that. There you go, it says up there that they accepted my offer of £6.50. Now, plenty of pictures on it, and it just says, Seiko Ladies 5 quality watch just for spares or repair. Our markings are stunning, not working just now. So let's take it out of the packaging and see if we have any life in it at all. Right, I'm just going to pop some gloves on. And the tools I'm going to be using in the video are basically my soldering tools, like my tweezers and stuff. And I also have this kit that I got from China years ago, which is all very cheap quality tools. But you know, I just like mucking about with it. So I don't need the best, because when you're dealing with a watch that's only £10, what's the worst that can happen? I break it and I lose £10. Big deal. Right, so let me take it apart and show you. And also, I've got this little screen here that's linked up to my camera, so when it comes to the small parts, I've now got a 10-inch screen to be able to look at it, which is nice. Okay, I can see the second hand moving. No, it stopped. It definitely was moving. 1 second now. Let me just... Can I feel that? Yeah, I can hear it. I can hear the rotor at the back moving. And that second hand is moving. But then it stops. Ooh, you know what? This might need a service, and that's going to be a problem for me. Right, let's see what happens when I pull out this thing. So when I pull out the crown, that moves, and that moves nice and freely. Let's go just out 1 notch. Yeah, that moves nice and freely. And that moves nice and freely. That's unusual. I don't think I've seen that before. It's like Roman numerals for the days. I wonder what country that's going to be for. And that as well. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, so I mean it does work. Let's see if I can wind it. Right, I can't hear it winding. 1 second. Oh no, it is winding. That is winding. Oh, I'm a bit disappointed because I didn't want one that just needs a service. There you go, it's stopped now. So obviously it must be just gummed up, in which case then I'm not going to be able to fix this. Well, I'll tell you what I'll do. Look, I'll take it apart and I'm going to clean it. I have got an ultrasonic cleaner and I've also got IPA, so I'll take it apart and just try to clean it. The only problem is, because it's so minute, I'm going to have problems, you know, trying to oil it up again. I'm not going to know the right places to oil it and stuff. Okay, well look, it keeps stopping anyway, so I've given it a good wind there, and it's still stopping. So that says to me that what it is the oil and stuff's got gummed up throughout the years, and now there's just too much friction in that watch, and that's the reason it's not working anymore. Which sounds like it would be easy. I mean, I suppose it is easier than well, no, it's not really going to be easier than the broken part, is it? Because the thing is, what part of it is gummed up? At least if it was, for example, a broken mainspring, then you know it's not winding, so it's not getting power. But with this now, it could be absolutely anything that's gummed up. Maybe it's an accumulation of numerous different things. Right, let's pop the back off it. So it looks like it's a twist back. Okay, that's moving nicely. Well, let's zoom in now, because there should be a tiny, I'm not sure how to take the crown out. On other watches there's like a tiny little button that you press in, and then that takes the crown out. So let's just pull that out to there. And let's zoom right in. Okay, apologies, I did it again. When I zoomed in, I forgot to press record. So where are we now? Not that far ahead, I only did about 5 minutes work. So basically, I took the crown out by pressing the little button. I'll show you in a second. There's a little button right by the crown, and then the crown pulled out. Then I had to take the hands off. I took the hands off by basically placing this over the dial and then just easing them up like this, and then that protects the dial. Annoyingly, this part all went smoothly, the very part I didn't film. And then I just had to take the dial off. There was 2 little screws either side. Again, I'll show you in a second when I zoom in. And then the dial came straight off here. So it's all gone well. And all I've done as far as dismantling it is, I've taken off the rotor, which just unscrewed from the top. And I've taken off the first thing here that was just underneath the rotor. And then I realised, because my screen went off, that I wasn't recording. So that's where we are. Let me zoom in now. Right, so I've remembered to record this time. So basically the little screws at the side were this one here. So the dial feet went up into here, because on the back of the dial you have these tiny little feet, and that's what attached them. You see these bits here? That's what attached them to the actual movement themselves. And there was another one this side here. The little button to remove the stem, you know, the crown stem, was, see this tiny little button here? This little one here. So what you had to do is I had to get a little needle, and I just had to press in on here like that, and then the crown popped out. So that's where we are right now. So I'm just sort of dismantling it bit by bit. So the next thing to come off, so I've undone this screw here, which had this little thing on it. Apologies, I don't know what any of these things are called. So now I'm going to undo this screw here and this screw here. It would be nice if we could get this ticking again. You know, not just for a few seconds, but for, you know, a couple of hours or something. It would be nice if we could get it ticking again permanently. Right, did you see that? Wow, okay, that went completely wrong. Because the mainspring here just went flying across the room. So, okay, I don't know what I would have done differently there. I suppose I would have had to put pressure down on that top, and then it wouldn't have gone flying across the room. The problem is, I don't know I don't know where everything is now. I mean, I've got this part here, that was on the floor, but I'm sure other things flew out as well. Right, okay. Probably loads of things have gone missing now. Let me just see if I can work out what's what. That could be game over for this. So I'm thinking that that thing went in here. Now there should be something in this hole here, shouldn't there? Oh, that's annoying, that, because I'm not going to be able to see it all happen so quick. Even if I rewind the video, it's not going to help. Oh, that was disastrous. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pause the video. I'm going to get my hands and knees, look on the floor, see if I can see anything. But I've got carpet here, so realistically, that's not going to be an option. That's a shame. Right, I can't find anything on the floor, and it's kind of obvious what I did wrong. I didn't release the pressure from the mainspring, did I? So remember I was winding it up at the beginning? What I should have done is worked out a way to release the pressure in the mainspring. The problem I've got now is basically everything just seems to be kind of like falling around the place, and I don't know where everything's going to go back together. But I'm not going to give up that easily. I'll dismantle it all, clean it, and then hopefully when I'm putting it back together I'll be able to work out whether or not there's any parts missing. Slightly wary because I can see, for example, down here it looks like maybe something went down here originally, but then again, maybe not. Right, let's see now whether this is going to come out. Yep. Right, so the one with 4 holes goes there. The one with 3 holes goes here. Right, so that must be the thing that goes through to, would that be the second hand? Okay, so now let's undo this one here. Right, let's try to get this little balance spring out. There we go. So I mean that looks to be intact. Then let's undo this one here. Right, I think that's everything out from this side now. I don't think I can take this out until I remove maybe something from the other side. No, I don't want to force that. Right, okay, can I see anything else? No. So now, this one here worries me, because I don't want to bend these up. I wonder, does that undo here? Yeah, I bet that's like a little circlip, isn't it? I wonder how I'm going to undo that without scratching everything up. Just try to force the tweezers a bit. There we go. Okay, I don't think I damaged it. Might be okay. Right, now, do these going to lift up, or? Just try to turn that upside down. There we go, excellent. Good. Right, oh, that's popped out, but so have these things here. Right, okay. Yeah, I'm going to have real trouble putting this back together. At least I've got that off. Right, I'll have to worry about them in a bit. I think that's all to do with the winding and the crown and stuff, the stem. Right, so this thing doesn't want to come off yet. But I have got something I can undo here. Just see if that bottom one's ready to come out now. I think it is. No, it's not. No. Suppose I have to undo 1, 2. Do I have to undo these 4? This is going to be, I would say, impossible to get back together unless somebody's done a YouTube video on it. Excellent, this is all coming apart. Right, let's see if I can sort of make a note of what's where. I thought there was one extra screw to come out. Oh, it's that one there, so I'll leave that one. So now, does this just lift out? Yes, it does. Right, does that, what happens with this thing here? Right, I just want to see if this is placed in here. Something just dropped out. No, okay, that looks like it's... Oh, it's kind of like riveted on, isn't it? Okay, well that's good, at least I can't lose that. Not too sure where this thing came from. I keep getting more and more hairs as well. Right, so this is now released. Oh, we've got a little spring here. Right, so that comes out there. Okay, I won't do anything with that one yet. Let's try on doing this. Oh no, that's not a screw. This one is, I think. This is going to be very hard to get back together, isn't it? So we have to undo this one here. Oops, that just fell out from somewhere. Oh, everything's just fallen out of it. This is out as well. Okay, that can all be cleaned anyway. Come off, maybe there's another screw holding it in the side. So this is the bottom press to get the crown out, the crown stem. What would be holding this in here? Oh, here we go, nothing. Right, so that can't go through there, but yet this one's not wanting to come off. I wonder, do I just have to force it off? I don't think I'm happy about that. Try the needle. Right, what is keeping that in? So we've got nothing there, and we've just got this here. I'm not sure what this is. This is probably ready to come off. Okay, that's that one off. Right, I would say that this is just some sort of pressure fit on here, but at the same time I don't want to damage it. There you go, excellent. Okay, so it has come off. Right, so I'm thinking that that must be, would that be the hour hands? Oh no, this must be the minute. That one must have been the hour, and then the one that went through was the seconds hand for this, for the kind of pivots for them. So this one's the minute hand, it looks like. Right, okay. That is it completely apart, I think. So I think what I'm going to do is, because it's not absolutely filthy, I think I'm going to just clean it with IPA and a toothbrush. I wonder, does this thing come in here? This thing does come out. Now if I take it out, or is it Where does that go? Through here to here. Does that knock out or not? Don't know how they put that on. Well, look, I'll leave it because I can just oil behind there anyway, can't I? Now, I'm not going to get involved with this because I know if I take this out, there's no way that I'm going to get that back in again. I wonder, can it be clean from the other side? So where are we? We're here. So is it this little one here, is it? Yeah, see, this probably is one of the most important ones because this is the balance wheel, which is constantly moving. But if I unhook this, yeah, if I unhook that, I'm just going to damage it. I mean, these are the finest tweezers I've got, and they still look like they're... Do you know what? No, I'm not going to risk that. I know that does need cleaning. But I would like to see this tick again if possible, and if I take that out, that's not going to happen. Right, I am going to get some IPA, 99.9% alcohol, and I'm going to give it a nice good clean. So let's zoom out for this bit. So this is the stuff that I'm using. And what I'm going to do is, rather than use my normal flux brush, because this would have a lot of flux and stuff on it from my soldering, I'm going to get a nice new one. So far it's all gone really well, apart from when that mainspring flew across the room, and if I've got missing components, then this is never gonna tick again. So what I'm going to do now is, I'll be just fast forwarding through it all. I'm going to be cleaning every single part of this, every little wheel, everything. Right, okay, that is every part, as far as I can see, taken apart and cleaned. Now, there definitely is, the bits left over there have definitely gone a darker shade. So hopefully I did remove some old oil from there. The problem I've got is I don't know where to oil to put it back in. Oh, actually, sorry, there's a few bits I didn't do. That is everything cleaned, so I'm going to let it all dry, and then it's going to be a case of trying to put it back together. So it's going to be like the ultimate jigsaw. Now I think it's going to be highly unlikely that I'll be able to put it back together. Also, when it comes to the oiling, I'm not going to know where to oil, so I might try to put just a tiny bit in the jewels. I mean, you can see there is actually quite a bit of dirt on there, so it looks like the parts now hopefully will be cleaner than they were before. So I might try to put some oil in some of the jewels to see if that helps. But remember, if I can get it back together and if it ticks, I can always take it apart at a later stage to oil it. Really, this is just kind of getting used to the tweezers and stuff like that, and also trying to learn where things go, because that's going to be quite possibly the hardest part for me. So I'm going to let it dry. Also, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop this into the ultrasonic cleaner, I think, to get it nice and clean, because it's quite grimy, and hopefully that will come up quite nice. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look, see if I can find out what movement this is. So it says here 29060870. So let's see what it says on here. So it says 2906A. So obviously that's the movement number, 2906A, and it says there as well, yeah, 2906. So 2906 is the movement. So I'm also going to have a look on YouTube just to see. You never know, somebody might have done a video on how to reassemble this. I think it's highly unlikely, but if they have, well, that's going to help me massively, because remember, when everything spread apart and separated, then half of the bits I'm not going to know where to put them back. So I'm going to do the score run now, and I'm going to come back to this later when it's all nice and dry. Okay, so these are all nice and dry now, so they're ready to be put back together. Now, a couple of hours have passed since that last part of the video, and I've done the score run, and I've been looking on YouTube for videos on the 2906 movement, which is this movement here, and unfortunately I can't find anything. So now, I know I said at the beginning of the video I wasn't going to mention the channel that I've been watching, but I'm going to mention it now because I'm going to be copying it bit by bit in the hope that I can get this back together. Now, he hasn't done this particular movement, but you know, I suppose as you get to know about Watch This, they might go together in a similar way. I'm not saying I know about Watch This, but I'm thinking if I can follow this guide, then it might help me a little bit in reassembling this. And also I can watch back my video of the disassembly. The only thing is, where it kind of separated off like that, I'm gonna struggle, but hopefully between the two I might have a little bit more success. Now, I've been watching one of his assembly videos, and he does show where to put the oil on those videos. Now, I know it could be different on this one, but there's certain things you do oil and there's certain things you don't oil. So I'm going to try and do it. Now, I haven't got the good oil. I've only got this cheap oil here, but I'm going to try it because maybe a tiny bit of it will be better than nothing. I also do have these tiny little oilers, and I've only used them once before to try and put lume onto some of the hands. So maybe if I use this and the oil here, maybe I might be able to get this watch working again. I don't know. So let me show you his channel anyway. I really do recommend, if you like anything to do with watches, check this channel out. He has got, he's I don't know when he started on YouTube, he's only got 3,000 subscribers at the moment, so give him a bit of support. You can always go over there and say, you know, hi, my mate Vince, I came from the My Mate Vince channel, and see if we can build up that number a little bit. But basically, this is it here, my retro watches, and the video that I've been watching is why has my watch stopped working? In fact, you should watch that one. Let's find out, because, well, I'm not going to give away the outcome of it because you might want to watch it, but it's really interesting to see. It looks like it was the same thing that was wrong with this one here, where it wanted to work, but it would only go for a few seconds and stop. So rather than me telling you the outcome, have a watch of the video, and I think you will find it interesting. It's really relaxing to watch. It's 40 minutes long, and what I like about it is his name's Mike. He's from the UK. I like it because he explains things as he goes along, because a lot of people, when they get to know something, they have a kind of habit of just whizzing through it and not actually explaining what they're doing. So when it comes to someone like myself, it's really hard to follow a video out there because everything's done so quickly. So for example, you have the oiler and it will just tap apart off the you know, one of the wheels, and you haven't got a clue really where he's put the wheels. But on Mike's videos, he talks it through as if you're a beginner, which is really good when you're a beginner. So yeah, check that out when you have time. So basically what I'm going to be doing now is I'm just going to be working through this bit by bit. It is going to take me hours. I'm going to be fast forwarding through the whole lot because I've got nothing to explain. I'm going to be making lots of mistakes, but I'm hoping eventually by trial and error I will get to know what bit goes where. So that's it. Let's get started. Oh, now that's interesting. So this must be how the clicker works. Not the clicker, you know when you pull the crown out and it makes those sort of clicks? It must be via this thing here, because it just went from this one over here. I don't know how to move it back now. I better be careful, but it went from there to there and it kind of made a clicking noise. Yeah, I don't want to force it because I don't really know, but I bet you that's what it is. When you click this in and out, this moves forward and back. There we go. Excellent. Yay! That's all moving. Fantastic. Okay, now I can get this thing back on. Right, these are the bits that I find hardest. You see, this is what I always break when I try to do anything with automatic watches. On top of these wheels and, for example, this pallet thing here, there's tiny, tiny little pivots. And they go into the jewels, and the jewels are rock hard. And if you do that at any bit of an angle or force it a bit too much, it just snaps the pivots because they're tiny. But luckily, this bit here has worked. It's just that I've got loads of others to do. And that's what I really find hard. I hope that's in the right place. I don't really know, because there's a tiny little jewel that goes in between like the forks of that pallet thing that I put on before, and it's very hard to see whether it's actually in there or not. I think I'm going to do up the screw and then get the eye loop and look really closely. Unfortunately I can't see it, so I'm just going to have to hope it's in the right place. So really, if I was confident with this, I should be taking apart this mainspring here, because there could be a lot of grease build up on the spring inside. So this is basically the thing that powers the watch. So when we wind it winds up this. Or when we move our wrists and the rotor goes round, it winds up this again. So it puts tension on the spring, and then the spring wants to revert back to its original state. And what can happen is, if there's a lot of grease inside of here, then the coils can spring together, and then I think it can kind of unwind. Instead of nice and steady, it can kind of give and then stick and then give and stick. So really I should be flipping this lid off. Can you see that there's just a little bit? I think it's just here. But the problem is, if the mains, I have looked in these ones before, and if the mainspring falls out, you can get them back in, but it takes a lot of work. So I think I'd rather take the risk, because I can always take it apart again if this is faulty. And remember, I have washed it in IPA, so maybe that might have, I don't really think much would have got in there, but maybe it's given it a bit of a flush out. Okay, I think that's dropped into place. I don't want to put too much pressure on, because again I would break the pivots, but it feels solid. It feels like it's down. I haven't got a movement holder, so I'm trying to do it with my fingers. So now I'm going to put some screws in there, and then I might see if any of the wheels turn. Right, okay, it all seems seized up at the moment. Maybe that's because, you know, on this other side here, I might have done something wrong, or maybe it's in the out position, you know, the crown. So I'm not going to worry too much about it yet. Right, I mean, it's all back together. I haven't got anything left over, which is good. But I'm not confident that this is going to work. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pop the crown in. You know, the crown stem. Right, the thing that it goes into, the clutch or whatever it's called, is crooked. Let me just see if I can possibly get it to straighten up. Oh, maybe I can. Hold on. Let me try pressing that little button in. Here we go. Oops. No. It's not doing it. wonder, are they going round the hands? Yeah, they are, aren't they? Oh yeah, that's moving the days, so that's good. Okay, so that moves the days round, so that's one good thing. Like it wants to move when you first of all bring it out, and then it just stops, and it's not doing a day either. Oh yes it is, hold on. Oh, there we go. Oh, now it's doing a day. But it was. But not consistently. Right, so I need to look into that. Now, is it gonna wind up? No. No, that's not winding. So I've got a problem with something around this area here. You know, I've never been successful with an automatic watch, and this one might be no different. Okay, I'll have to dismantle it again and find out what the problem is. Maybe I should do it from this side first of all, because I'm pretty sure that all this side went together okay. So maybe it's these works on this side that's mucking it up. Sorry, I mean, you know, the works in here to do with the crown. Right, let me zoom right in again, and yeah, again, I'm just going to be fast forwarding through it. I think it's going to be something to do with the mechanism up here. Okay, so that makes sense. So you see the gear at the bottom of the day. When you do it this way round, can you see it moves the green gear onto that, which will then move that one round. So that does make sense. That's how the day turns. Why is it not doing it every single time? Oh, the different levels. So the green gear has different levels. So look, it's going to hit, and then the next one will miss. Then it's going to hit, and the next one will miss. So that says to me that when I do it this way, it must be the lower down one that's doing this one. So now, why is this refusing to go? So maybe something's seizing this one up. Right, that's moving much more freely now, so I think I just had the screws done up a little bit too tight. But it's also moving when I go all the way in, so that's not normal, so I've still got something wrong. Right, so I've obviously done something wrong here, I just need to work out what it is. So I was right about that click thing. Remember up here? Right, from what I can see, that clutch thing isn't... Is this doing anything here? Nothing in there? Oh, good news, look, I can see it ticking. I seen it ticking a few seconds ago. There you go, look. Excellent, so that side must be working. Well, when I say working, off a fashion. Right, so I'm starting to understand it. Basically, in order to wind it when this is fully in, this has to be shoved all the way over to here so this can grip on the top. But I don't know what makes this thing shove over. This thing has to be over here instead you start clicking it out. Right, okay, this is going to take me some time to work out. I think rather than, because I've been filming for hours and I'm going to start running out of memory soon, I'm going to work out what it is. Then when I've worked out what it is, I will then start filming again. Right, okay, it's only been about 10 minutes later, but good news is, look at it, it's really going. Check it out in there. So I'm kind of starting to understand it. So what happens, see this green gear here? When this moves across here, this thing kicks over and knocks the green gear across to that side. So I understand what this thing here does now. But what I need to understand is how to keep this over in this place when so the crown's pushed in all the way. This needs to be kept over into this place here. And it's not. It's always over here. There's nothing keeping it over. So that's what I need to work out. Still not 100% sure what this thing does here. I mean, really it should be this that's keeping it over. But this doesn't seem to be the right design for here. Right, I'm not sure yet, but I think this might be it. Can you see I've got this spring crushed now, and this should be putting pressure on this way, and then this one this way. That's what I'm thinking anyway. Okay, I'm really starting to struggle with this now. I mean, the watch is ticking fine, but I just can't get this crown sorted. So what happens is, it just keeps falling back this way. And then when I do get it so it goes across, then it doesn't want to click in and click out. It's really stiff. So it's really confusing me. I think I'm going to give it another 5 minutes. And then I'm going to start watching YouTube videos of just how these go together on various different watches, and hopefully if I watch a few of them I'll be able to understand, because it's all to do with this spring down here and I'm not 100% sure what it should look like. Excellent, I think I've got it at long last. I've had this apart about 10 times and I didn't really do anything different in the end. So basically the spring is more compressed, so it's shoving this inside lever, the one at the bottom here, in that way. And also what I did is I put a little bit of oil either side of that choke thing down there and also on the lever. And now it appears to be working. So look, when it's fully in, it's winding, which it is winding, you can see here. There, yeah. And now if we go halfway, sorry, hold on, next one down, can you see up here? It's jumped down one. And now it will do the date, and the green wheel should now go the other side. I mean, I hope it's going to go over enough. Yeah, there we go, to do the day. And then if we go all the way out and it goes to the bottom one up here, then it looks like it's going to move the time. So I hope that's it. The other thing I'm a little bit confused about is exactly what this spring does down here. But I presume that's something to do with the day and the date. So now I'm going to put the rest of it back together. I've realised what that spring's for. I think it's got to go over these teeth here, because then it will make it more central, because at the moment it's a little bit wobbly. I think that's what it's for. Oh no, actually it just goes into the teeth, so it kind of makes a nice click as it goes round. Right, okay, yeah, I understand that. Yay, fantastic. Okay, Mike from My Retro Watches has come to the rescue again, because I've watched another part of his video, and the reason I'm having problems with the day in the middle is because I didn't realise there's another spring. Do you remember there was a spring for the date? Well, there's also a spring for the day, and here it is. And that's the reason it's not lining up properly. Excellent, so now I know, hopefully I'll be able to get this lined up. Right, excellent, look at that, it appears to be lining up now. Monday the 22nd, Monday the 23rd, Tuesday the 24th, Wednesday the 24th. Excellent, and if you look here, it's still ticking. Can you see that balance spring? It's been ticking consistently the whole time, so this is really good. I'm really enjoying this. So now what we have to do is put the dial on, put the hands on, and then we need to pop it back into the case, but I haven't actually cleaned up the case yet. I'm just going to try to clean up the dial a little bit. I've been told never to touch a dial apart from with Rodico. So, after I've made a massive mistake in one of my other videos, you all know the one I mean. They sort of look like water stains, don't they? Do you know what? I'm going to get a Q-tip and just give them a little rub just to see if they disappear. It is getting rid of them. Yeah, it must be some sort of water staining or something. The dial looks much better now, I think. Most of those dots have gone. The dial looks to be in really good condition. Right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the hands on, so I'm going to do it so it's just about to turn over to the next day, and then that will be midnight. So I'm going to keep winding it until it just about starts to turn. Right, okay, so it's about to go now, so this is where I'm going to do it. Right, so I've got a set of pushers here, and they're all different, they've got different size holes at the end. So I'm going to use these to put the hands on now. I'm not sure about the size of these hands, so it's just going to be a bit of guesswork. Hands. Again, I'm going to do it so it's perfectly straight up. Make sure I put them on the right way as well, so the loom's the nice side because the other side doesn't look good. Make sure they clear each other. Right, so they look nicely lined up, don't they? It's good. That's good enough. That looks perfect, actually. Right, let's try and get the second hand on. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. Oh, how nice does that look? Right, okay, so it's really late here in the UK at the moment. It's 20 past 2 in the morning, so I think I better go to bed, get some sleep. I've got to be up early. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the time on this, and then we'll see what happens. See if it keeps the time tomorrow. Right, okay, so that's it, 20 past 2 in the morning. Let's see now if it keeps its time. I have been winding it up, and it's going to be Friday the 17th, so this is like halfway through changing. Right, so I'll come back to this now tomorrow. Right, okay, it's the next day now, and amazingly, it's still ticking, and it's keeping pretty good time. I can't remember if I said it exact, but if you look now, it looks to be about whatever, what's that coming up to, 7 or 8 minutes past 9, and if you have a look here, you can see that my watch is saying 9:09. So that's not bad. That's not bad. I mean, I need to kind of set it properly. Also, it can be adjusted via this back thing here. Can you see there's like you see this little thing that says minus and plus? And I'm not exactly sure how that's supposed to be. I can't see a little arrow or anything on it, so I'm thinking it goes in line with this thing here. But I need to double check. You see this thing here? So that looks like it's heading towards the minus at the moment, so maybe I just need to move it over a bit. I don't know, I'm not going to touch that yet. Now, the thing that I'm not sure if it's working or not is the automatic, because when I turn this round here, it doesn't seem to be advancing. Let that just focus. It doesn't seem to be advancing. This, if you have a look at this hole here, can you see the holes in the middle of the mainspring? This thing here, yeah, or the gear on top of the mainspring. And look, no matter how much I turn this, or the other way, you can see it's not moving round. So yes, it's working as a manual wind watch, but it's not working as an automatic watch. So I have to look into that. But before I do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the ultrasonic cleaner set up, and I'm going to drop this in and see what it comes out like. I might as well drop in the back as well. And yeah, hopefully it will get rid of all the grime from the bracelet. Well, I've got my ultrasonic cleaner here. I've got the temperature set to 50 degrees Celsius, and I'm going to put it on for 25 minutes. So let's open it up. I've got deionized water in here and also special jewellery cleaner as well. So let's drop that in there. And drop that in there. And then what I can do is I can sort of turn it over halfway. Right, I let it do this thing for a bit. Okay, I've got it out of the ultrasonic cleaner. It's come out nice and clean, so it's pretty good. I've had a look at the glass, there's a few scratches, but I'm going to leave it because they're very light, and the dial itself is so kind of bright. I don't remember seeing the scratches beforehand. As well as that, if I try to polish it, you can already see that it's gone to silver at the edge here, and also slightly around the bezel area here. So I don't really want to risk it. What I have noticed is this link here is a little bit spread out, so I'm going to have to try to close that up. Can you see the gap there is quite big compared to the ones next to it? That one there. So if you look at the links at the back, you can see they're all quite close, but then this one's very wide. There you go. So I'm going to have to just try to pinch that, and as well as that, it's just broken from here again, just purely because that's spread out a bit. So I just need to close that in. Now, I'm slightly worried about why this is not winding this way. It's still ticking away, which is great, so I'm really happy with that. And as it is now, it is a manual wind watch, so that's fine, but it's supposed to be an automatic. So let's see, obviously I've done something wrong here. What I did is I just took this top part off. I didn't actually separate out anything inside it, so maybe there's things in here that need oiling. So let me zoom right in. Right, so I've got it in this kind of just little holdall, but it's not a very good one. But at least it will allow me into it without mucking up the hands, hopefully. So I'm just going to take off this top section again and see what's happening. Right, so what? Look, it's moving it, but it's just going back and forth. It's not going round, so obviously I've done something wrong somewhere with the levers or something, haven't I? It should keep on going round. When it doesn't, it just goes back and forth. In fact, that way it's not doing anything. That way it just goes back and forth. Right, okay. Maybe it is going to be fixable. Let's take off these two screws here and here. The reason I didn't use the ultrasonic cleaner on this one is because I'm not used to the ultrasonic cleaner, and I wouldn't want any of the jewels or something to fall out if I left it in for too long. At least if I just use a little brush, I know that I can apply the pressure to it So I think it's slightly safer, but hopefully in the future, if I get more used to watches, then I can start doing more ultrasonic cleaning of them. Right, so still doing the same thing, so there's nothing to do with oil. I really don't know how it actually works. I need to work out how this movement here gets turned into... So this must... I presume this must kind of like, when it picks it along, it must stop it and... I don't know. But one side must pick and one side must push or something. So I think what it is this side here is not releasing. It needs to be going more like that, back and forth. Yes, it appears to be working. If you look at this now, so you can see that the hole's just barely here on this one here, so it's spinning this way round. Excellent, look at that. Yeah, that's going that way. Now what happens if I go the other way? Oh, look at that, it still converts it. Brilliant. So, all I think the problem was you know that this thing here, these levers, I think they were too spread apart, they were too wide, so I just sort of pushed them in a little bit, and now I can hear it clicking more. So I think what happens is one kind of pulls and one pushes, or I suppose it goes one way and one stops it from going back the other way. And I think that they were just a little bit too wide, so they weren't gripping properly. That's what I think. I could be completely wrong though. Well, I'm just going to oil up these bearings. And then I can get the rotor back on. Now I've got two of these, I have to work out which one goes where. Fortunately, I didn't make a note of how these go in or came out, and I really don't know. I presume that one goes in there, but then this is just going to block up this rotor when it goes in here. I'm thinking that nothing goes this side because then it would be noticeable from the front. So they both must go this side, but did I have to do this before putting on the rotor maybe? Maybe I'll take the rotor off. Do you know what? I think this one, because there's two little marks here, I think this one goes on in between the dial and the movement. That's what I think. And there's no way I'm taking those hands and stuff off again. So what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to cut this, wrap it round, see if it fits, and then I'm going to put a little bit of plastic weld on that because I don't want to take the hands and everything off all over again. I know that's a bodgy way of doing it, but I'm happy this is working. I don't want to risk anything. There we go. That's it. That's it. Look, there you go. 100% that fits there, doesn't it? Because it just clips nicely into place. And those bits were for the feet from the dial. Right, I'm going to get my plastic weld pen out and I'm just going to put a tiny dot there, the UV pen, just to put it back together. Right, now I'm not just going to put a big splodge of it on, because what will happen is it will just get everywhere. So I am just going to put a tiny bit onto a needle, dab the needle onto it, and I'm just going to build up a couple of layers. Right, okay, so now if you have a look, it's winding both ways. Can you see that little hole there disappearing? So it looks like it's all working as it should be, which is good. Let's just get the next hole round. There we go. Right, watch this now. I'm talking about this one here. There you go, you can see it moving around that way, and now let's go counterclockwise and it's still moving around that way. So all we have to do now is put the case on and set the correct time and stuff, and hopefully that will be it. There we have it, one working Seiko, which appears to be keeping good time. As you can see there, it seems to be keeping up with this one, so hopefully it might be okay. I haven't got a machine to put it on, so I won't really know until days or a week or two down the line to see how fast or slow it is, but initially it appears to be kind of perfect. So very, very happy with that, and I'm thinking it is going to last the test of time because I did put little bits of oil in it, so hopefully it won't dry up straight away. Now the bracelet was a lot harder to fix than I thought. I thought I could just get some pliers and just close these up, but this is incredibly hard material. I was getting a screwdriver, poking it in and wedging it, leaving it like that, and it wasn't making any difference at all. Eventually I did manage to close it up by using stronger pliers. It's still not perfect. It's still a bigger gap than you have on the others, but not much. As you can see, it's just like where is it? That one there, the mangled up one, it's about 1 millimetre, while all the others are pretty much closed up completely. Also, I just had to pop this bit back on here. That was okay actually. That just needed a little bend. And yeah, it all seems to be closing up nice enough. So, happy with that. There you go. So I really, really enjoyed this watch here, especially because I had it in all different parts and I didn't follow a how-to guide. But the watches that I viewed on Mike's channel really did help me. So although they're different, the insides are different, they're kind of similar. And I suppose automatic watches, maybe more basic ones like this, have probably been following the same kind of components for many, many, many years. So maybe if you did it 20 years ago, and you hadn't done it in 20 years, as long as you still had steady hands, maybe you could pick up a new Seiko off the shelf and still take it apart and put it back together. So yeah, that's really good. I'm really happy with that. I know other movements might be much more complicated, but with that one there, for me, that was a real sense of achievement. Getting it ticking again is fantastic, and also the fact that I think it's keeping time as well is just a massive added bonus. And as far as I can see at this moment in time, everything's working. The date's working, the day's working. I'm well happy with that. And if I had to do that movement again now, I would find it a lot easier. One thing I haven't checked yet is the loom. Let's see if the loom is strong enough to store any energy. Well, I can see it lighting up green there, so that says to me it's going to be okay. It might only last a few seconds. Let's see if that's going to light up. Tell you what, let me turn the lights off. Well, it certainly lights up when you put the UV light on it, but whether it... Yeah, there you go. It is holding, but it'll probably get very weak very quick. Excellent. Now, I don't know the age of this watch. I couldn't really find any info. Look at that. You can see it lighting up now. But... yeah, I think it's in incredible condition for the age. I need to do more research into this movement because when I googled it I couldn't really find much, but then again I didn't spend a lot of time doing it, and I didn't really know where to look. So if you do happen to know the age of this, then just add it down to the comments below, because I'll be interested. I'm thinking it might be from the 1980s, but I really don't know. It could be later than that, I'm not sure. So that is it for this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. I'm definitely going to be doing more. I've got 2 more Seiko watches that have been ordered. They haven't arrived yet, but hopefully they should be arriving any day now. And with those ones, I've got a video that I can just copy, you know, from beginning to end, where to oil it and everything, over on Mike's channel. So again, I mentioned him before, but check him out, My Retro Watches. In fact, I'll put a link to it down in the description. And then if you like fixing watches, or you're interested in the insides of them, then watch his videos, because I'm sure they helped me. I'm sure they're going to help you as well. So that is it. Thanks so much for watching. Take care. Bye now.